The best part of working at UL is the mission. The ability that we've got the opportunity to, in our case, help the fire service and work with the fire service it's an honor and a tremendous opportunity, a lot of fun. Well, I was partway born into it. My grandfather was the chief of my local volunteer fire department for 27 years. My dad runs a fire training academy. I joined the local volunteer fire department when I was 16 years old, and that set me on a path that I wanted to do something with the fire service. And at that point it was, hey, do I become a firefighter? And then I think through high school started to realize that, hey, I'm halfway decent at math and science. I like the idea of engineering and problem solving. How do I put these two things together? And that's where I stumbled upon fire protection engineering at the University of Maryland. So it's just same requirements for any other engineering field. So you've got, in Maryland's case, you've got to be able to get into the School of Engineering. So whether you're doing aerospace, mechanical, chemical, civil, whatever the case is, you've got the minimum bar that you need to get into, but then you've got this specialty component. And that's where I felt that really gave me a direction to go, was that fire, okay, I know about fire. How can I put these things together? And ultimately, most fire protection engineers don't necessarily go into working with the fire service. There's all kinds of facets of fire protection engineering, whether it's designing sprinkler systems, fire alarm systems, evacuation, overall anything that has to do with safety in a structure is a common thing that fire protection engineers will work with. So we're a specialty within a specialty. Favorite part of the job is probably the team that I get to work with. We've got a great group of guys and gals that I think we got some decent rapport, and what we get to do, I mean, you can't beat it. We get to burn buildings. So we will either come here to Building 11 and build structures to burn, or we'll go out in the field and turn structures in the field into laboratories themselves by running instruments and getting all kinds of things that we can measure how the fire grows and spreads, and ultimately how the fire service interacts with that building, and be able to determine, is it better for people, worse for people, and what can we do to educate the firefighters so they can do the best job they possibly can. I think we're constantly getting surprised at how quickly the built environment's changing. The stuff that people have in their homes, what their homes are made of, how it's made. I think people think of fire as this old, boring science. Cavemen used fire, we must know everything about fire. Firefighters are dealing with fires every day, they must be experts in fire. And the truth of the matter is, the first book on fire dynamics didn't get written until the mid-'80s. So it's a relatively new science that we're learning more and more every day. And then you fast forward that to what we're learning about firefighter operations and how they interact with that fire environment. It's constantly full of things that maybe should have been obvious, but aren't always obvious. So when we can measure those things and further understand them and push that knowledge out to the fire service, it's a pretty rewarding job. The great thing about fire protection engineering, especially now, is there's no shortage of jobs. More and more people are starting to understand why it's important and how to apply it, and how safety plays such a key role in the built environment and what we do, that I mean, there's a number of jobs for every graduate coming out. So I think as a parent, that's a big thing that you want to pay attention to, is this person actually getting educated in something that they can make a living at? And fire protection engineering is a great thing to make a living at.